Emilio, first of all, thank you so much for joining. It's always special to have a friend on here as well, obviously, and yeah, it's an honor. And I think it's going to be interesting talk since I know you very well. I know you have some good stories, so it's going to be good. All right, Emilio, how are you guys doing? How's the family? Like, you know, you have two beautiful daughters, two sons, and a beautiful wife, Simona. I met at my conference as well. How are you guys holding up?
Well, we are pretty fortunate. We are here in Florida, and we have space, and we have as well. We live in the club, so it's pretty convenient, and we enclose in a place that we can come out, and so we are very lucky, and we can complain about that. Also, we are lucky because everybody is healthy and strong, and we can complain about it.
Okay, so that's good. That's good to hear. And so I guess, you know, for you, since you're always on the road and you're always busy, so I guess, you know, it's wonderful time. I mean, wonderful time. It's sad now what's happening, but you have some family time. I think that's what a lot of people. What I got the feedback is like, you know, like spending time with family is what people don't realize. You know, when we do so much, like I and you, like it's nice to be home, you know, and spend time with family.
Yeah, on one side, that's amazing because you get the chance to get to know you more yourself, to play better the important match, which is to stay with the family, and you have to become the best version of yourself, but at home and with them, and be close and just be there, you know, because the mind, we always talk in tennis about the technical, the tactical, the physical, and the mental, but the mental is the one that gives the orders, and that looks always for the difficult and the negative, and so it almost gives orders to the emotional, and then the most difficult part when you are at home with the people that you love is the emotional, but the one who betrays you is normally the mind, who tells you the negative thoughts, the difficult thoughts, and you're always thinking on the bad part. I think I passed this illness like 4 or 5 times already in my mind, okay. But then physically, then it don't come out, you know. So it's very tough. It's also very tough to see how tough this illness is with the people who gets it, and that they go through this very difficult illness, and then they end up going away and by themselves alone, and that's devastating for them and for the family. So I'm so concerned, and I'm so disappointed that happened, because there is nothing more sad than go away alone, and that's the toughest part from this illness. And let's hope that we have some hope, and that we start to change the way. And I wanted to say that I knew about this illness in January, start of January, because we have a center in China.
Oh, right, you have a tennis academy in China, right.
Yeah, the directors there, they call me and say there is this very difficult illness and we may have to close. So this was like the second week of January after Christmas. And
wow.
And then I start to think, close? I say, is that bad? So, but they keep it open for about 10 more days, and then the Chinese New Year's arrived, and then everybody went on holidays there, and during the holidays the government decided to shut everything down.
Oh wow.
So not only our academy, but everything. So 1 billion people go home.
Wow.
And the Chinese just all went home, and it was incredible for a country that is the biggest producing country in the world. All the factory, everything stopped. So the time goes by, and the coaches, we have to bring them to their countries, and many of them to Spain. And
wow.
But the weeks went one after the other, and I have to say that 2 weeks ago, well, at the start of March, they call us that the coaches, they could start to come back. So because they needed to do the 14-day quarantine.
Okay.
So some coaches, the start of March, they flew there when there was almost no flights to China. But the director, Hector, and Victor, they flew there with all the restrictions, all the difficulties, and they went 14 days on quarantine, closing the academy, and then the students as well. So it's not only the coaches who come from abroad who were having that, so also the students, they were 14 days quarantine as well. But about 10 days, this past Monday, not the other one before, we finally reopened the academy, and we've been working there. In the meantime, we had other coaches, Arthur and Adriano, also went through quarantine as well, and now they're already working as well with the students, and we have about 70% of the students came back.
Wow. Okay.
And we've been working on it. So we are now in the USA, but also in Spain. We are at the highest point. We are in the most difficult moment, because now is the moment where it's at the top of the mountain, let's say. But we have to believe that there is hope, and that process in China with 1 billion people at home, it took 8 weeks. So in every country, when the people concerned, I have to stay home or not, the more we stay home at the start, the sooner we're gonna come back. So it seems far, it seems difficult, it seems like we're losing the match staying home, but it's the opposite. So we have to look at the more time we stay at home, the sooner we're gonna come back from this, and we're gonna start to beat this illness, and they're working there now. They're opening the restaurants, they're opening the cities. So there is hope, and we just have to be patient, play the match well. Like when we are tennis players, so tennis players, we are always alone, we are always at home, alone, on the court. And we learn to fight this adversity, and we become so resilient, because the other one is putting us to the sides and don't let us do what we do well, but we continue and we pass balls and we continue. So I think that our spirit as tennis players, we have to put it on handling this situation at home with our people, and strengthening ourselves to be able to come back stronger, and having this light and this hope that we can come back.
I like that. I like that analogy. I like the little insight what's going on in China, and since you firsthand have the academy there to let us, give us a little bit, hope, and that is good. So hopefully, people stay home and then keep it that way. So, well, Emilio, let's talk a little bit about you. Like when you started and all that stuff, and I just wanted to show you, I'm representing, always.
I love you. I love you.
No, like it's
yeah. I always inspired by people like Davor. I'm not gonna introduce him, because you all guys follow him, and he's always working for bringing new information and putting new things on his website. But what inspires me from Davor is his energy, and the energy is amazing, because he just puts his heart on whatever he does, and I think that's what we need today. We put all the full energy to whatever we do, and when we are at home, we play with our kids. Let's play 100%. Let's play the match 100%. And this guy does that. So, he always calls me, do you want to do this? I say, okay, come on, let's do it. You want to do that? Let's do it. So here we are, and I'm so proud to be here with you, and you are so inspiring. So thanks so much.
Thank you, Emilio. Thank you, Emilio. Actually, Emilio, talking about doing stuff together before we start. So if everything goes well with the virus, talk to Gigi Fernandez. So she would like to come. You've been to our beautiful club, Stone Creek Club in Spa in Covington, New Orleans area. And I wanted to do this year a conference like in November-ish at the end, hopefully. So if everything goes well and everything goes away, I would like to do one-day doubles. So having you and Gigi there, and then, teaching the guests that come and all the people that participate. And the next day I would like to have like 10 and under and mini tennis. I would like to have Martin Roca coming and a couple of other guys, specialists, and do a whole day with 10 and under where everybody goes on the court. So you told me already you would be, if the schedule allows, you're gonna be coming. So I'm excited for that. I just wanted to throw that out, you know.
Well, it's gonna be interesting, and hopefully we can do it this year.
Yeah,
and
we'll see.
and we can be together and show it. And you know, like, it's interesting. Like, I was #1 in the world doubles.
Yeah.
And I always say that the key for doubles is to find the right partner. So in my case, I was a pure singles player, but I had the chance and the luck to have someone like Sergio next to me,
Yeah.
and other partners. Sometimes I play with my brother or with Andres Gomez and other people, and always.
It's just interrupting you. You said smart, but good partner. I mean, Pam Shriver and Martina Navratilova. You picked the 2 best female players, so you're a smart person.
No, you know, that's coming back to that's coming back to where I am going. Okay, so for me, Sergio was a very incredible player because he was very aggressive, and I was very consistent. Put a lot of serves in, very good serving, never losing the serve, a lot of returns in, but I needed someone to be very aggressive to close the points, you know, and that's what I found with Sergio, and that's what makes us such a good couple. And so even if I was better in rankings and so, at the end, you needed someone to be really good in what you don't have. Mm-hmm. And that created a great couple. And on the other part, I always say that I was one of the few ones in the top 10 or the top 15 in the world that was able to, or had the drive to play mixed.
Yeah.
So the smart ones there, it was first of all Pam, which she came to me and said, I want to play with you, I want to play with you. So we, in the second year I was on the tour, we play in Paris, and we won it. And then because she was the partner with Martina, she talked about me with Martina about me, and then Martina said, I want to play with this boy. So, and then Martina was asking her all the time, let me play with the boy, let me play with the boy. So, and since Martina never won the 3 together, so she tried many times. She won singles and mix, or doubles and mix, or singles and doubles, but she never won the 3 in the same tournament. So, and then she started to come, and she was sending me her coach and this, and everybody, no, let's play with Martina, let's play with Martina. So that year we played with Martina in the US Open. Mm-hmm. And then she was playing really well, and she wins the I think first the doubles, and then she wins the singles, and then we are in the final of the doubles. So it's a bit of pressure in that moment, you know. And it was an amazing match because I think either we lose the first or the second set against, I remember, Kathy Jordan, I think, and Ken Flagg. So it was a very difficult match. And then we won the second, and then in the third we were very tight. We ended up winning 13-11 in the third set. Wow. So, and then she just collapsed, and she was so happy. Yeah. She was so happy that she won the 3 together. I think it's the only time that she done it, and I was also very happy to be playing and learning from a legend like that, you know, like Martina, and it was a very interesting ride. That same year, I think, or the year after, I played the Homeman Cup with Arantxa, with my sister.
All right.
And then we because she was younger, but we won it against Pam and McEnroe. And then that year, with the year after with Martina, we were playing in Wimbledon, and I lost in Wimbledon in the first and second round, and I stayed to play doubles with her, the mixed doubles. So I am there every day. I'm going to her home. I'm hanging out with them, and we go to practice. We play mix. So, but she was in the same that the year before in US Open. She was with the soul of a winner. So you could see that she was everything that happened. She will handle adversity perfect, and she probably will win. But in Wimbledon, she started to feel pressure that maybe she was gonna lose, and we practiced sometimes, and she was always complaining, and she was very sad sometimes that she started to feel that maybe she will lose. So, but then we go ahead and passes like you are a top 10 player, you lose first, second round in doubles, in singles, and then you are sitting there playing the mixed. So I stay there, and we make the first week, we pass the second week, I'm by myself, we go to the semis, and we start to play the day before her final against Steffi Graf. So we go to play, and in the first set, we are in the tiebreak, and we are about to win the tiebreak, and then she makes this incredible mistake, and then she starts to collapse. She starts to go down. I'm not so good. I'm flat. So we lose that set. And then we, at 4-all, it starts raining. In Wimbledon, sometimes rains, or most of the time rains. So, but then we go to the players' lounge. I'm sitting there waiting for 3 hours. This is Friday night, the second week.
I love those stories, Emilio. I love it. I love it. Keep going.
And then she sends me the I don't know, the third coach, one of the guys she sends me him, and Martina is not gonna play. I said she's gonna prepare for the final. So I'm sitting there. I say I cannot believe this, and so that was my end of mix for a while, because I said no more. I was sitting there for such a long time and everything. I was a bit disappointed. And then I was surprised, But I had another incursion in mix, in mix. This was like 3 years later, after we win the Hopman Cup. My mom, we are in the U.S. Open. I think it was 91 or something like that. And my mom was sitting there in the players' lounge, and she tells me, say, why you don't play with Arantxa mix? I say, no, I retired from mix when I finished that final with Martina. And then she said, no, play with Arantxa. You won the Hopman Cup. Why? Maybe you win. So, okay. So at the end, she convinced me, and I said, okay, let's play. And then we go and we play the first round against Kurnikova and Knowles, and Arantxa asked me to play on the backhand side. So I said, okay, let's play. I normally play on the forehand. So I said, okay, let's do it. I said, better for me, So we go and we play, we end up winning the match, and then we come out from the court, and there is my mom waiting, and she goes to Arantxa, oh, congratulations, and then she looks at me and says, you see how well Arantxa plays? I said, yes, mom, she played very well, she's amazing. And then we got the second match, we come out, she goes there and says, you see how well Arantxa plays? I said, yes, mom, she's very good, she plays very well. So we continue going matches and ahead, and then we go to the quarters and the semis, and then we make the final. So and then we are in the final, and we play with two Dutch players, Bollegraf and Nyssen, and which are unbelievable doubles players. And but we are much more well known. She's number 1 in the world. I was number 7 in the world. So everybody thought that we were going to win easy, and we were going to win the title. So, but we played terrible in the final. And then we come out from the court, and there is my mom sitting like this, standing at the outside from the court, looking at me straight to my eyes. My sister comes next to me. And then we arrive there, and then she looks at me and says, how you can play so bad? So that was just like my second retirement from me, and and then like later on my career, when I start to go down on my singles and then I play with some other players, and I try to keep going, but that was my story. The start was really good, win with Pam, win with Martina, and then lose with Martina, lose with my sister, and then I was out from mixed.
Emilio, I don't have such a good story, but when I came to the US, I never played mixed before in Europe, never ever. So I played one time mixed here, one time in the US. And when I came from Europe, I was not, I was better in shape and played okay, and I think I missed one ball or two balls the whole match, and I still lost. And after that, I never played mixed. I just can't. Some people I just can't do it. But it's fun for a lot of people, but I just can't do it. So
well, physically is that one of the things that the tennis changed the most is that the recovery. So and doubles and mix, what they do is a lot of fun to play them, and many players they play them, but it damages the recovery from the player, because normally you play first and third or second and fourth.
Yeah.
And then so sometimes if you play first and third, maybe you finish by 5-6 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
But if you play second and fourth, maybe you finish by 8 p.m. And if you play third and fifth, you're gonna finish by 10 p.m. So you don't have time to recover for the next day. And at the time we were more like much more training to play. So we were able to play singles, doubles, and it was not such a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
So because our body was more used to. But then when you want to excel on the physical and on the mental pillar,
mm-hmm.
to have to reload again physically and mentally for the doubles, with the little repercussion that it has, because the tournaments, they still don't give the doubles the importance that they could have. So they never put them in the right course or in the right places. So that becomes a big challenge for the performance state, when the physical and the mental pillar and the details become so important for the players to recover. And as an example, I always also tell this story in the seminars to the coaches. I said, one year I was in Kitzbühel. It was an amazing tournament for me. I love Austria. I love the Austrians. And I always play well in Kitzbühel. For me, it's one of my meccas of tennis, and I always done such a good results there. But Kitzbühel is up in the mountains. It's in a ski resort. But it started to rain Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday. No matches. So we started the tournament Friday morning.
Oh, wow.
And I play my singles, I win. I play a second singles, I win. And I play one doubles, and I win. 3 matches. Go to Saturday, I play singles in the morning, I play semi-singles in the afternoon, and then I play second match of doubles at night. So I play 3 matches. I go to the finals in singles and the semis in doubles. What happened is that at the time, most of the finals, they were best of 5. So I played the final best of 5 against Mechir.
Wow.
I won it in 5 sets, and then I played 2 doubles with my partner, and then my partner won the doubles by himself, because I was like dead, like walking there. But I played 3 matches in 3 days. So I was like the peak of the physical and mental effort, because for me it was incredible that I was able to do that, But that was because of the training and because of the being used to play 2 matches almost every day.
Wow, wow. That's not bad, Emilio. I don't know how many people can do that. And as you said, in our days, it's just so taxing on the body. So a lot of players don't play anymore, especially in the Grand Slams. So wow. So Emilio, talking about, you mentioned Arantxa a little bit, and you have a brother, Javier, and so Javier has Green Set, one of the most successful resurfacing companies. A lot of people, I didn't know that before I got to meet you guys a couple of years ago. And, I think he did the Australian Open this year, right? The surface?
Correct, yeah.
And he did our club too here at Stone Creek, and fantastic courts. And Emilio, so against your brother. So I have an older brother. And you're the older one, right?
Yeah.
So I just want to. So you were leading him 10 to 2, right? In the matches.
Mm-hmm.
So all right. So I mean, it's already mentally. If I think when I played my brother back and there was no big tournaments, I hated it. So I know you had an advantage mentally probably then. But so you had what was it? US Open 3rd round, right? So against Simpson.
Well, I don't remember. I don't remember very specific matches. What I remember is that I am 3 years older. So when he was he was 18, I was 21. So when he became #1 in the world in junior. So he was #1, and I was already in the top 10 at the time, with 21 years old. So at the moment when he started to come to the tour and he started to travel with me, I was thinking that he was he had the potential to be better at that moment because he had this incredible game. But then when he started to be on the tour and we started to play, in some way I had let's say the advantage that my game was a bit more heavier when we play on the back of the court. So I started to dominate a bit more. His serve was a bit better than mine, but on the big points, on the big rallies, I had a bit of a slight advantage with him, and I started to win those matches. And for him also was more difficult. You know, I opened all the doors. I'm the older brother. He traveled with me, so for him was a big challenge to break through that. You know. But we had some incredible matches. I think we played in Wimbledon, we played in US Open, and then until one moment when he already matured, and then he that's when he beat me, you know, and I was more level at the time when he was we were going more on the same path. But he had an amazing career. He was a very hard worker like me, and I think that if we put together our family, because we have another sister, Marisa, that she was also a very good player. She went with a full variety to Pepperdine in California. So we were all on the tennis club. My parents, they stayed there on the weekends, so we play a lot. But then tennis has been very important for us, and we were the kind of players that will never give up 1 point. Like, we will always put the effort. We'll always give the 100%. And the people didn't like to play us because we were working hard and we'll be there until the end. If they managed to have more shots, they may beat us. But they knew that when they play a Sanchez, it was going to be tough.
Yes, and an amazing family. It's unbelievable. All the three of you so successful, and it's crazy. Emilio, before I go, we have a lot of questions from the users. I just want to ask you one more question. So when I was researching a little bit, you beat Wilander in Sweden, right?
Yeah, that was one of the highlights. I think I beat him and him who was 3 and Stefan was number 2. So I beat him, one in the semis and the other one in the finals, and in Båstad, which is another little sport with so much magic, and Sweden has been always at the time when I arrived to play in the 80s, you know, like I was junior in the year 83, so that was the boom of Swedish tennis. When I jumped on the tour, there were 20 Swedish players. So there were like about 40 Americans but 20 Swedish players. So when you play in Europe, you know, like you don't play all these American tournaments, and so you will play first round a Swede, second round a Swede, third round a Swede, fourth round a Swede. So you will finish with the Swedes until here. And there were so many really amazing players, one tougher than the other. And but that ride in Båstad was amazing. And what I have to say with the Swedish players, I think they are the most professional, but also the most polite. I think you cannot fight in a court with a Swede because they're never gonna go to that energy where of friction, you know. And they have this incredible mindset that comes from Bjorn. Bjorn was the first one that was like the coldest guy ever, and he was like this super idol for all of us. But to be at the same time as Mats and Stefan and all these other guys was a huge challenge, and they make us come out with our best of ourselves because they were super tough. I remember I played him in Cincinnati 1 year, apart from Båstad. So Cincinnati was like 100 degrees and 100% humidity. And I am playing the guy there, you know, and after the first set, we arrived to the tiebreak. Okay, and I go to he wins the tiebreak. And then I go sit on the changeover and I look at my bench and I have like 6 6 shirts already changed. You know, I'm sweating, like destroyed. I lose the tiebreak, and I see him because he goes to take the towel. I was already sitting, and I see him walking, and he has like a little spot here. The guy is not sweating. And the guy is French, you know. I say, how is this? This is impossible. This is. So I think that match he beat me 7-6, 7-6, but we played like 3 hours. I was completely destroyed, but he was so tough. He was so tough as a competitor.
Like, you know, we're here in Louisiana. Cincinnati is almost same climate. So when it's 100 degrees here and it's 100% humidity, that's like people in Europe don't understand that. When you came to the US, you were like, you know what I'm talking about. So
yeah,
it is the toughest conditions. Like that's not easy.
Yeah. The toughest conditions with the toughest players become the
toughest matches.
Yeah.
All right, let me see.
Yeah.
If I have some questions, let's take this one from Farso. Can you talk about the big rivalry with Bruguera that changed tennis in Spain?
Well, Sergi was an incredible player, and you know, at the time we had some really good players. I excel a bit more, so we had players on the top 20, maybe top 30. So, but it was a kind of like a moment where we needed even more competition. So for me, I was the number one. I was on top of all the other ones, so I was comfortable. But with the arrival of Sergi, you could see that he has this amazing talent, and so his arrival made me even work harder and be there longer, and he was like a rivalry that made me go longer. And then at the end, he even passed me, and he won a couple Roland Garros, which I didn't. So he was very important for Spanish tennis at the moment. And I think because of this rivalry, make the people even more involved, and I went over to the general public, become more global, the tennis. So I think it was really good that he came in and we could show the world what the Spanish tennis was capable of doing. The pity is that when I played Davis Cup, he still was very young. Then when he started to play Davis Cup, and then I was too old. So we didn't connect together, because I think for Davis Cup you need to have really 2 top 10s to be able to be very competitive during all the year, because you needed to play a lot of weeks. So when you have a team that is lacking at the moment, that one tie you are a bit down, or you are not so good, or you for whatever reason don't play, and then the team comes down a lot. So it was a pity that we were not able to play together.
Yeah. And then Emilio, before we go, I want to talk later. One thing I have on my sheet still, what I want to talk is like Davis Cup when you coached 2008, but not now. I want to go through a couple more questions. And then, for example, Ilanes says, like, es muy enriquecedor que en esta cuarentena hagan directos. Thank you. So I just wanted to say thank you as well. Again, like, you know, people enjoy the stories, and, you know, I know you have the best stories, and I'm so glad that you're on here. Emilio, Jamie Boy asked, like, what are some qualities or skills that you look for in students entering your academy? What ideally, what the students should, you know, what would you like to see from someone that's coming?
Well, we are, as I was talking before, we are tennis academies. So in tennis academies, normally the people sees them as the part of the time that the player needs to excel in competition. So that will be maybe from 14 to 18 when you really start to compete hard. Mm-hmm. But since my facilities are very big, we are also a club. And since the start, we become a school. So and a school means like a educational school. So in our academies, the people does elementary, does middle and high school, which is 12 years of the time. So the kids start at 5, 6 years old, and they finish at 18 when they go to college, or they go to the tour, like some players have done in the past. So when you talk about my academy, to answer this question, the first thing I will say, okay, how old is the kid. Because in some stages, let's say 5-6 years old, that moment, most of that you are asking is technical. So, for example, today I posted a module of exercises to do at home in our website, in our social media. I ask you, everyone that if you didn't see it, if you want to sign in our YouTube channel, Sanchez Casal, you will see all this series of exercises where we ask the player, depending on the stage that they are, with one type of exercise, what you can do at 6, whatever you can do at 10, whatever you can do later on at 14, or later on when you excel and are able to do the right thing. So for me, in the first stage, let's say, I divide our pyramid as initiation, which will be from 4 or 5 years old until when you start to compete, let's say 8, 9 years old. So that is a very technical stage. That's where you learn all your fundamentals, and that's the most important moment for developing a player. So the people in the schools many times put the worst coaches there. No, you have to put your best coaches there, because if you build the base well, later on when you go to compete, it's going to be much easier to be able to compete better, because you're going to have better tools. If you don't make attention when you are little one, and then you're going to come out with the skills that you don't want to come out, and then you're going to have problems later on with the competition. So that's very important. Everybody to put the most effort and the best coaches on the little kids, okay? And then the next stage is when you start to compete, which will be formation. You start to play your teams, you start to play at the club, your matches, your social matches, and so. So that's the moment when you start to love the sport. So there you have to have people as well that they are really good. Because that's the moment where we coaches make the students love our sport. And we have a big competition with the soccer, with the basketball, because when you compete, you already love that so much that you need in tennis to be able to love it, even if your skills are not 100%, because the development in tennis is so long. And that's the biggest rival that we have to keep the kids on the tennis. Because then when they start to compete, they don't have all the skills, and then they get frustrated, and then they give up.
Totally agree.
So that's also very important moment. Then after that is what we call advanced, when we start to compete a lot, 12, 14, 16 years old. That's when we already have the drive inside. And that's when we start to go and dedicate more to more specific things. So in the physical, we're going to start to do more not so general sessions. You're going to go more to some specific factors. In the tennis as well, you're going to start to work to apply the technique on the tactic. So you're going to go much more specific. And the higher the level, when you go to work with the super players, through the pros, everything is about details. So it's everything about details, and every detail can make a big difference, because those details can make the difference on the key points in the matches, which are the difficult ones to find. So depending on the stage, you're going to be able to ask for one or other thing.
Okay, I like that. Emilio, Bernard Turhan. Hey, Emilio, thanks for establishing one of your academies at Lifetime Athletic in Peachtree Corners. Your coaches are amazing. So that was, that was when that was March.
1 year ago, and you came to help. I think it's this week. We were in April this week. Wednesday. It's going to be our first anniversary in Lifetime in Atlanta, which is an amazing club.
Oh, beautiful.
And has an amazing people. Like Turham. Turham does all the tournaments for us, and he's been doing that for so long. And tournaments, I always tell the coaches, we need to make tournaments, because that's where we get the passion to the players. Yeah. So people like Turham becomes key for the engine of the tennis in the country. So he does tournaments almost every week for the Georgia and the people around it, like Alabama and so. And that becomes the feeder for our sport and for our competition program. So it's very important that if we don't do the tournaments, have some Turham that can do them, because then that is going to allow us to keep the players longer.
Yes, I agree, and they need to, like in soccer, for example, when they come the first time on the soccer field, they can immediately play the game, right? So in tennis, we have the difficulty. We have to teach them first so they can keep the ball in. So that's a little transition to the next question, maybe. So that's why our sport is a little bit harder to keep the kids interested. Hola, Emilio from HSN Tennis. What do you think about red, orange, and green balls?
I think I have some here, you know, like.
That's a good start, Emilio.
Yeah, so like they're great. So I use today in the video when I'm showing the volleys, I'm showing some exercises on the throw. I'm using one of these balls, which, for example, for home, this is great because it's gonna help you to don't have so much power and don't break anything. So. And also big balls are great. I love these balls. You see, this is even signed by Nadal, Verdasco, everything. So even these big balls are amazing, and you can use them. You can use them for the objective. Okay. So what is the objective? To have the best motion possible. But in tennis, you start for normally the easier motion will be the volleys, which almost you don't have to do almost anything. You know, you take your racket. And you put the racket and you just move. You just move a bit with the situation. So that will be the easiest shot to write on your brain. But normally we start with the forehand and we start with the backhand. Or when we have to excel and then go to the overhead or the serve, it becomes a nightmare because that's the most difficult shot to teach. Because you have to do so much. From the going down to go up, to be able to charge and then to go up and then hit super up. So it's a very technical and very difficult sport. Tennis, I think, is a challenge. And for me, that I was a super player, when I started to go and do the academies, I only was thinking in the details of the coaching because I only coach pro players. But then, and I always had the mentality of the pro player, but then I realized that I needed to use what I had on my mind for the details to do it in a general way for the advanced players, for the formation, and for the initiation. So I went backwards. I tried to do a lot of courses. I tried to listen to a lot of people like you, a lot of technical people, to be able to put together what I believe is the right way to develop the players in 12 years. So one of the things that I love about these balls is that they allow us to keep the players longer and to compete earlier. So when we are able to compete earlier with a motion, that goes towards retaining the player. Yeah. In tennis, what we need is to keep the player in. Yeah. So all these tools that started in Sweden and then in France, they put it together with the mini tennis, and so today is the red, orange, green. But that's for me commercial. What we need to find is tools that allow us to create the right habits, the right habits to be able to have the right shot. Yeah. So I use them to do that. When you are not able to use a normal ball or a racket, a wooden racket. When I started, I played with a 350-gram racket from wood. But my shots came out pretty well. How come? If we don't have red, orange, green? Because when I was little, I had a good coach. Okay, so and that's key. So we don't have to go. I see many times people go to extremes from what the pro players do. Remember, the pro players do, their base is almost perfect. Yeah. But they sometimes do things that they are details to be able to come out from what they call emergency situations, and they do things that they master that is very difficult to teach them when the kids don't have the base. Yeah. You need to do the details when you need to do the details. Yeah. But the more simple you teach, the better result there is.
I like that.
Okay, so what I want to use is those balls to be able to teach the best possible, but then for competition, you have to use them as well to be able to compete better. Okay, and so when you keep players that they already start to play very well with a kind of ball, and I always say the same thing, like in the intermediate with the orange ball, when you go with the 65-inch court, many times you use that ball to don't have to play on top of your shoulder.
Yeah.
But what the ball does is that you play below your knee. So what happens when I play on top of my shoulder? That if I want with a normal grip, I'm going to start to turn, and I'm going to turn, and I'm going to play here because I want to play on top of my shoulder. So I'm going to go super Western.
Yeah.
But what happens when I go low? I also turn because I want to put the ball up. Like the Swedes, they were doing, playing very low. Why? Because of the indoors. And on the indoors, the ball stayed very low, and they didn't have orange balls.
Yeah.
So what is important is that we use the balls for training. But when we do the competitions, we have to be very careful to use in competition what we do in training.
Yeah.
And that's a big challenge, I think, in many occasions. So for me, I use them, we use them, and then we try to make the player understand where he has to hit the ball.
Love that. Or I love that, like what you said about the, above the shoulder, what happens when they hit it, is they go more to Western, but if the ball is low, they can't hit it with the Western grip, obviously, so they have to.
We cannot jeopardize the fundamental.
Yeah, I agree.
So when they make a building for earthquakes, they go down 150 meters, they put some blocks there that they are flexible. So we cannot go and there put something that is a rock.
Yeah.
We need to be very flexible. Okay, and if we realize today, we look online. The other day I was looking on Instagram, there was one guy putting a video of Nadal hitting backhands or forehands. And they show, it was like they put Nadal like in a skeleton, and you could see only the spot of the racket where he hit the ball. So from 40 different balls, 40. So topspin, slice.
There was this much difference in contact point, right?
Yeah, 2 inches, 40 to 42 inches.
Yeah.
So if we're going to use balls that they're going to change that hitting impact spot, and it's going to put us very low, and we're going to hit below those 40 inches, and then we're going to have a problem. Because then later we will do that. But if we get used to hit the ball on the proper place, doesn't matter if we are on transferring forward, transferring backwards, transferring sideways. If we have one spot, that's what the good players do. They hit on the right spot on the right moment, and that's I think key for the people to understand.
To that point is actually like the most important then.
That's why our system that we use, and that's why the Spanish players, that they work so much on the movement, on the footwork. They don't use the footwork just for moving. They use it to hit the ball on the proper place.
That's what I learned. That's one thing I learned when I was around you a lot, Emilio, like with the movement, how important it is to get behind the ball when the ball is pushed, when you pushed out, that with the angles, and so that's really important, and that's good. I'm glad you mentioned that for the people who are going to watch.
And also you have to understand that there are players that they are so gifted. Okay, so gifted. Look, McEnroe. He's so gifted with the racket down, but he, without moving so much, he still hit the ball on the proper place, in the same place all the time.
No, I totally agree with you, Emilio.
But how many McEnroes they are? Not many.
Not many.
So so when you are a player that you build yourself like me, and you arrive to master this hitting point so much, without, let's say, so much talent as compared to a McEnroe, or compared to people like that, and then you realize how important it is to be able to move. Okay, and for us is a key component. But the same, we were talking about the habits with the technical, the habits with the patterns, with the way we do damage. The movements are the same. Every movement, every transfer of weight is a habit, and you know how long it takes to create habits.
Oh yeah.
And it's a habit that is very difficult, because normally when you move towards the ball, you have a force, a ball, which is a big force that is coming against you, maybe fast, maybe medium, or maybe super slow. And it has a bounce where you have to find that spot that allows you for you to hit the shot easy.
Yeah.
If not, you have to adjust and play emergency shot, and that's something that I am totally concerned to be able to transfer that to coaches and to players, and so I'm very how you say, stubborn.
Yeah, no, yeah.
On the hitting point, on the line of the ball, and on the height of the ball to be able to play the proper shot. And in most of the courses that we do in the academy, that's where we look at it, and that's how we adapt all the chains of exercises, the famous Spanish drills, to be able to find that spot. And I wanted to say something also, that we normally do about 2 of those courses a year, and here in Naples, in Florida, I give them to form coaches. One is at the end of May, the other one is in December when the ITA coaches come here. And this year is in the end of May, and I was thinking, and I'm working very hard on being able to do that online. So I'm gonna present it next week, but I'm gonna do the course online. I want to share with the people, and
sign me up.
I hope
already up, Emilio. I'm gonna do it.
That'd be awesome. But I'm very excited about that, and hopefully we're gonna have a big crowd and we're gonna participate a lot.
Oh yeah, 100%. Emilio, do you still have a little bit of time, or do you have to?
Yeah, I have all day.
Okay. Because Instagram, you can only do the lives an hour. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch this one off, save it to the stories, and then we have to come back one more time because I have interesting things. You know, Daniel Orsanic, the Davis Cup coach from Argentina 2016. So you said a lot of nice things about him when we were chatting before. I want to skip and go to Davis Cup a second and then come back. So let us.
I have to do again the same.
Yeah,
when you invite me again.
I invite you, and then gonna do it. Everybody who is on here is gonna cut us off in 2 minutes anyway. So come back, and Emilio's gonna talk about Davis Cup Spain 2008, and Daniel join us too. So 2016 when Argentina won, I want that on here. Oh, okay, so I invite you again in 1 second, Emilio.
No problem.
All right, Emilio.
Here we are.
All right, Emilio, talking about, let's talk about 2008. I know Daniel said that's painful, but then we talk about 2016 when Argentina won as well. So 2008 as a coach, Davis Cup. So when I talk to players like, Dusan Lajovic or Damir Zumor, my friends, when they play Davis Cup, it's completely, energy that they never usually have, probably like on a tour, comes out, and they're just like, it's a completely different world to play Davis Cup. Tell us a little bit about Davis Cup and then 2008, and then what you wrote me a little bit about 2016 when Daniel won finally with Argentina, since we have him on.
Well, hello, Daniel. For me as a player, play Davis Cup was like the biggest dream, because you represent your country when they put the anthem, and then you get seeking spots, and you get so emotional, and you represent everyone. So that's an amazing feeling. But the career goes fast. I play, I think, 12 years Davis Cup. I make I think 2 times the semis, but I never make the final. So in 2006, the new president called me that he wanted me to be the captain, and that was an incredible challenge for me as a player, because it was the only time, even if I was coaching and I was in some big tournaments, you never again on the court. So when you are in Davis Cup, you are there. So it's not that you play, because it's the player who does everything, puts the effort, but you are there and you are part from it, or you feel that you are part from it. And I learned so much. I was so lucky to be able to have the first years of this big Spanish Armada, the generational change after the Moya, Ferrero, and these guys. Then when I started, my team was Rafa and David and Feliciano and Fernando and Nico and Tommy. Incredible team. an amazing team. Today, if we see back, I say I was so lucky. But when you take those players, they are 18, 19, 20, and they're starting on the tour, it's a big challenge. And on top of that, Spain, at that moment, have lost the last 19 times they play away. They only win one time.
Oh, wow.
So 19 times. So during many years. So we lose always away. So our chances, they were very little. And on top of that, we started to have this very good team, but we were not playing doubles. So we were giving away the doubles. So for me, I had to also to put together a team of doubles, with only players that they used to play only singles. And I was a doubles #1, so I had to commit. But the biggest problem is that from the 16 teams on the World Tour, with 13 of them, 13, Spain was playing away. Because already played with all of them at home for 2-3 years. So the expectations to do well, they were very, very bad.
Wow.
So that then in 2006 we play away in Belarus. We lost, and then we play at home. We win against Italy, and then the year after we play away, and in Switzerland we won, and then we lose in the USA away again. So then the year after, and then we play in 2008. That's when we play in Peru. We play in Germany. We play that this time in the US because they beat the other players that we were supposed to go away. And then the final we play in Argentina. So from 4 matches, 3 we play away. So remember, the statistic was 0-19 before. So the players, they took that commitment to be able to go outside and to play. But it's easy to say that when you have Nadal or you have David, that they are amazing players. But so we go to the end of the year, 2008, Nadal becomes #1, wins Paris, Wimbledon, Olympics, but he's exhausted. So he wins the semi-final as well in Madrid, but after that, he was so exhausted that he couldn't play the final. So we go to play in Argentina against at the moment Del Potro, which is #10 in the world, and Nalbandian, who is even better. So we go to play against 2 top 10 players with maybe 3 players that they were top 25, but not top 10 at the moment. Mm-hmm. Because David that year, he didn't play so well and so on and so on. Mm-hmm. So we go there without Nadal, everybody thinking that Argentina is going to kill us. But we go there with great players, and it's very tough, Davis Cup, because I remember I lose to a guy from one time from Denmark, was 150 in the world, and I couldn't beat him. I played in Denmark, and he destroyed me. I dream with his name sometimes. You know, I was 7 in the world, and then I lose to the 150. Imagine what they tell me, that I could not play. 1,000 or something like that. And so I still remember his name, and I knew how difficult. So I tried to convince my players that how difficult it was going to be also for the Argentinians, even if they were better. So and the Argentinians, they had to be also convinced that we were going to be tough. But the way they did the things, I don't think that they were totally committed as a team to think that we were going to challenge them. I think there was in this atmosphere with the press and with the people that they were thinking that they were going to win anyway. But the preparation for my players was amazing. They were very committed. We stayed by ourselves in the place because Argentinians left for a wedding. So another player got married, so they went there, and then we stayed there practicing, and it was like an incredible feeling. And we start to, like this energy, this ideal state of competing start to be building up. That I was thinking, maybe we have a chance. Maybe we really have a chance. Maybe this is going to be something going on and something happening, And my players, they were so open and so receptive and listening so much and working so hard to take advantage of every situation with the people who was working, with the policemen, with the kids who come to see the training. They stay there half an hour signing. They stayed. So, and this state that they had, you could see that the Argentinians, their state was like tight. They were like tension and pressure. So that in the matches doesn't normally don't, you know, like you don't see it so much. But when you go in the match and we talk about the details, if we see that how those matches were decided, they were decided in those details, and that state that the Spanish player had in those key moments compared to the state of the Argentinians, that they were more tight. They make them make a few mistakes, they make them make a few winners, and that difference went like this, and then another difference went like this, and we end up taking the cup back home. So it was an incredible situation that it was a pity for the Argentinian team, because they in some way they had a very big chance, you know. But
and
tennis,
they've been a lot of times in the final, and you know, that came on top of it. They've been so many times in the final, didn't win. And then 2016, Emilio. So you when you wrote me,
well,
so
actually,
so nice, you know, like, and just, you know,
actually,
Argentina fought very hard, because the year after they came to Spain also in the big match, and they also lost in a very tough match again.
Mm-hmm.
So they fight really hard to keep going. They make changes. They bring Daniel. They bring other players, and so until they put together that state, you know. And tennis and sport is always very grateful. That creates an amazing stories. And the way they lost at home, there has to be the story that they become the heroes in a completely opposite and belligerent situation.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what happened. They go and in England, and they go and in the final in Croatia, and they break that, and because they create again that special and specific and ideal state of competition, that the details come on their side, and everything flows, and they end up winning, and Daniel end up having the success. And that's how I see it from outside. You know, like, sport is always very fair, and Argentina deserved that title, but the energy didn't work at that moment. And even in that moment, if Argentina, in that same match, in the tiebreak, in the doubles, in the third set, with 5-1 up, one of those 2 points, they win those points, they win that match. And we will not talk about the Spanish energy, we'll talk about the Argentinian win. But it's about those details, those matches. Those little details that makes the big difference, and that create the stories. And that's what they had in Croatia, or coming back from adversity.
Yeah, that was amazing. I know for me it broke my heart, because I'm from Croatia, right? But as I said, I was happy for Argentina, and I mean, obviously, you know, Delpo coming back and winning and the whole thing, they deserved it more than anyone else. So actually, that was good. And it's crazy to have two Davis Cup coaches who won it on here. This is so nice, you know. That's why I like those lives, you know, having them on. Emilio, what I wanted to ask you as well, besides Davis Cup, I had one more with Andy Murray when he came to you guys. So tell us a tiny bit when he came, how Andy, you know, what you were amazed by, what qualities he already had, and what you maybe had to give him on his way to be the player he became.
Well, Andy was a gifted player. He was already actually he came. You know, like, you know who told Andy to come to Barcelona was Rafa. Rafa told him go to Barcelona to train because he was looking for a place, and Rafa told him to come to the academy. And then I remember the first days he came with the mother, and I always like with the players to have the feeling of playing, because when you see them play, it's not the same. You know, you know, like I always like to force them or to play with them to see really what they have of those details. So, and the only way to find the details is when you play with them, for me.
Yeah.
It's very difficult for me. There are some coaches who have incredible eye and they can find a player and spot a player very well, looking and finding the solutions. But for me, to find the real potential is about playing. So when Andy came, I went to play with him. And I see this kid coming with legs like this, very skinny, red hair, looking at the floor. And I say, and the mom said, no, he's one of the best in his age in England, and so on. And then I see the kid, and I say, what? What are you talking about? But then we go to start to warm up. I think with the first ball we pass 50 balls, and that's already a gift. So that you are able to pass a ball without missing easy, that's already a big gift, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But then I start to hit harder, and then he was able to come out. And the harder I hit, the more tools he had. So the gift of the counter punching from Andy, when you see him run and then go with those balls, that's something that he has intrinsic. He has in his DNA.
Yeah.
Because he had it when he was that age, you know, because he had this ability to be able to come out from difficult situations. And then I start to push him, and then we play some points, and the guy was good. The guy was good. So I said, well, the kid is good, but I think that I don't want to say that we give him this or we give him that. But what really I think that we create with Andy, that he was surprised, it was the determination, it was the effort, and it was the discipline to be able to be on time, being the best player. You have to show the others, you have to be respectful, you have to be the leader, you have to be there all the time, and every time you go to play, you're going to play and you're going to commit 100%. And I think that's the change that from my side, when I spoke to Andy later, that's I think what he took with him. That is when we talk about ourselves, it's not what we say. For me, what we are, what the Sanchez Casali is what Andy says that we are. So with what he learned with us, you know, he don't remember if the forehand, if the backhand he play here, or with all the drills he started to play in front. And then release, and make him more competitive to be able to play in front, you know. And when you put those values together with his technique, with his tactic, he started to use it more properly. I think he learned a bit of tactics also, because when you play on clay, you have more time. So that allow him, even if he later on developed so much better on hardcore and on grass, he really had learned to have the patience to be able to be a counter puncher or an attacker, even on hardcourts. And that comes from the training on clay, on the movement to hitting the ball on the right place. And
Emilio,
yeah.
Just wanted to say, your wife is on here. I just wanted to thank her. To Simona, thank you, Emilio, for like an hour and a half. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You have it back in a couple of minutes.
No, she's now taking this quarantine to be able to. She's a great cook, but already she's.
I see every day. I see,
yeah, so now she's coming out from her comfort zone, and she's starting to be making breads and focaccias and all these cakes. And so I'm gonna finish this quarantine. I'm gonna have to go on a clinic to lose weight, you know, because she's making amazing things.
I see that on the stories, and every time I click on it, I see something new, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so jealous, and it looks so good. So I'm gonna look at your belly, Emilio, in a couple of weeks. I'm gonna see.
Well, no, but the Andy is an incredible story for the academy, because he's becomes what he's become, and he really arrived to a point, and he also achieved, and he also did win as well Davis Cup. But he's always, every time he's gone to compete, he's putting his 100%. And now, with all the difficulties and all the surgeries that he had, he's still looking for his best version. And I really hope that this quarantine, this time that the circuit stops, allows him to strengthen without the pressure of having to come back tomorrow or Wimbledon or the day after. Now he has time I'm big fan of him. I hope he's doing all this exercise on the pool and everywhere that to strengthen his score, and that he comes back strong to be able to challenge those other guys up there.
No, I agree. Andy is a fantastic guy, and you know, it's fun too listening to his brother. You know, like some of those lives too. That was fun too. Like, you know, his brother, amazing player too. And you know, I didn't even know in the ITFs his brother was like top of the top as well. You know, and yeah, it's a great tennis family obviously as well. And maybe I'm gonna get his mom.
Yeah, but he make
one of my conferences.
Just kidding, okay? But the mom put him in Germany and put Andy in Spain. So in Germany, he developed very good skills on the net and on the serve, but then Andy developed the skills on the physical side, on the movement, and then make him more stable and more consistent.
Yeah, like amazing family, amazing tennis history as well. Emilio, whoa, that was thank you so much. That was amazing. And then the insight, as I said, for everybody who was watching, and a lot of thousands of people are going to rewatch it when it's in the story later. Yeah, I can't thank you enough. I mean, that those insights are priceless. And then yeah, so I'm good. As I said, you know, for all the people, like, I know you now a while, and I send you my kids to your academy, and I can just say it. I say it from my heart, and from the kids I have, they are treated like family there. They come always back with so much joy, and they play better. And I really like. I'm not just saying that. I really said that. No, not one kid I send you said something negative. So, you know, whoever has good players and kids that want to train here in Naples, in China, or in Barcelona, and Atlanta now, I think, you know, the Sanchez Casal mindset is something special, and your values are the most important. And I think for people, I say that from the heart now, because I know you, I know your family, I know Arantxa, the values you have as a person, and the passion every day. You go to conferences, every day you do things for the sport and for the love of the sport. Those values show in your academies. And you know, for everybody who wants to be in good hands, I recommend 100%. I would put my own son without hesitation. I would send you my son as well. So I think that's one of the biggest things someone can do, you know.
Well, we thank you so much. I want to say hello to all of our students at home. We've been posting things for them. To the students that couldn't fly, that they are in Barcelona or in Naples, that they are hanging on there, and they're doing very little, but we are with them. From the first minute in March, we turned our school to online for everybody to keep going with the classes. So we make a huge effort. And for us, our students are our life and our main existence. So we hope that this finish soon, that they start to come back, and hopefully in summer they can come earlier for the next year. We really need to get all together, and we probably don't have so much movement because of these quarantines and everything, but every country we have to be very strong with competition to pick up again. Even if we cannot fly internationally or so, we need to start to be engines from the sport. The coaches, we need to go back and start to do the lessons and start to do the programs and the tournaments and bring the people back to sport. We have to take it, I believe, always in opportunities. And tennis is a single sport. So we have an opportunity to bring people together to find, when they start to compete, this love for the game. We need the people to love our game like we love our game. And tennis has made us what we are, and give us those values and give us those fighting spirit, and that's what I hope that the people from the outside finds out. And all of you coaches and friends, and so you always promote tennis as a way to educate, a way to live, because now what we're doing with this virus is live as a tennis player, because we are fighting, and we are fighting hard in front of a big adversity, and we need to keep going that way, and that is going to give us more chances to come out in a proper way. And I wish all of you health, a lot of energy. I wish everyone that hopefully their loved ones, they don't get they don't get sick, and between all of us and all the energy that we're gonna put together, we're gonna come out stronger. So thank you very much for listening. I hope that you come out to listen to us as well in our web and in our sites and the YouTube channel. See my video today. I think they have some good tools that you can do in very small space. And I'll be very glad to answer any question in our social network that you have. Okay, so thank you guys.
Emilio, one more thing. The YouTube channel is Academia Sánchez Casal, or like what is it called?
Yeah, Sánchez Casal.
Casal.
Yeah, you go to YouTube, put Sánchez Casal, and it will come out. And you have this. Today was the 7th series. Every series has like a plan of work, like 7 or 8 exercises from a different subject. We did the continental grip. We did the elbow in front. Today I have done the throwing. So we go step by step on the technical. We have done some of the physical as well with full sessions for the people to do at home. We'll do tactical and we'll do also competition, we'll do mental. So we're going to keep putting all our knowledge up there for the people to keep excited about the tennis and to keep them in our sport. I love that everybody posting so many things on, because that creates the right energy that we were talking about in Davis Cup. We need to create the right energy with this virus to be able to come out strong and everybody with more knowledge.
Emilio, can't thank you enough, my friend. We stay in contact and we plan things together to do things. And with the online course you might have in May, you can sign me up already. And
okay, thank you.
Any info you need to be spread out, you send it to me and I will send it to the people. Thank you.
Thank you. Keep up the energy. Thank you so much, Davor.